Hey everybody, the greatest goblin that ever lived is here for a comic book review for the ending of April and the beginning of May 2013. First thing I want to say is I hope everybody had a great free comic book day. I know I did over at Arkham Comics in Blytheville, Arkansas. Simple little plug there. For those of you who subscribe to my main channel, I hope to be able to do some more special reviews on the free books that I got from Free Comic Book Day. Plus, I'm hoping to be able to do some special reviews from books that I got from Midtown Comics. But as far as this video is concerned, I'm reviewing books that I got from Arkham Comics for this week. So without further ado, we're going to start with DC and with Marvel. We're going to start DC off with the oldie fold-out cover, and that is Aquaman, number 19. Behold, the new King of Atlantis and his faithful subjects? Yeah, I gotta say, that is a really, really good cover. Paul Pelletier is a really fantastic artist. I'm wondering if people give him as much credit as that he deserves for this. I mean, Ivan Reyes can't do everything, and the artwork in here is just stellar stuff. Now, I will still go on the record and saying this right here is the one Jeff Johns book right now that I still truly like. It is fantastic writing from Jeff Johns here. The artwork just boldly goes with the storytelling. Yeah, a couple of Arthur's subjects, well, one in particular is still not buying Arthur as the King of Atlantis. He still believes the throne belongs to Orm. And speaking of Orm, Orm's in deep shit right with the government, and his argument, the argument that he brings up, actually makes sense. It doesn't villainize him any further. It actually makes you sympathize for him. It's like, you know, he's being put on trial and they're wanting to persecute him with the death penalty for all the lives that were lost in the Atlantean War. And he's like, you're only counting, and Orm is basically saying, you're only counting the deaths that happened on Earth, the deaths of the surface dwellers. What about the people of Atlantis that died in this war? They had families. They were somebody's children. How come you're not discussing them? It's like, you people killed some of my people. How come you're not paying for that? You know, and I'm like, that is a bold and sensible argument. Fantastic writing. That was probably one of my personal favorite parts of the book. And, you know, I'm not justifying what Orm did in the Atlantean War, but he does have a point. It's like, when it comes to your surface dweller laws, you only care about yourselves. You're not taking literally everything into consideration. And his lawyer's like basically telling him, look, that may be how it rolls with you, but right now I'm the only friend you basically have. And it's just, the drama in there alone is worth the price of admission for that. Fantastic writing. Arthur's got his hands full in here with a lot of things. I'm not going to give everything away with that, but there's a really big dun 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 kind of cliffhanger at the end, and Jeff Johns is known for these kinds of cliffhangers. When it comes to cliffhangers, he's nowhere near the level of Peter David, but he's trying. But the cliffhanger in here concerns Mira, who I have deeply fallen in love with, not literally, as a fanboy to a character. Come on, these people aren't real. But from a reader's standpoint, I have fallen in love with this character, Mira. She's just awesome. Love this character. She's it's like this king of Atlantis. He comes up to her. She's like, "Who are you?" And he says, "I am your king. You will bow to me now." And she's like, "I don't bow to no king." Boosh, and just blasts him with a water blast. I'm like, fuck yeah! Don't take that shit, Mira. Almost channeled Macho Man. Oh yeah, Macho Man, Randy Savage. Fuck you, Triple H. I'm sorry. Got way off subject. But this was really, really good. Really good stuff. Loved it. This is the only Jeff Johns book I really give a shit about. I think it's well worth your $3. Do yourselves a favor and stick with Aquaman. Aquaman ain't no joke no more. Just ask my student that. TheMtVernonKid. Check out his reviews, by the way. Before I move on, let me put this back in the bag. I wanted to take it out and show you that fold-out cover. There you go. Aquaman, number 19. Friggin' awesome. Alright, moving along. The first issue 20 of the New 52. We got Detective Comics number 20. Emperor Penguin Unchained. I'm getting so sick of this Unchained crap. Django Unchained, Superman Unchained, Emperor Penguin Unchained, or Superman Unbound, whatever. I'm like, okay, this is becoming a tired line. It's getting as tired as Resurrection is. I'm like, come on. John Layman, Jason Fabok continue here. I'm starting to notice a simple yet noticeable flaw when it comes to Fabok's artwork. Everybody's way too bulky. Even when they're jacked up on steroids, they're way bulkier than I think they need to be. Even Batman. I mean, come on. I know Batman's in peak physical shape and everything like that, but goddamn, Batman is not a professional wrestler, Mr. Fabok. I mean, you got him looking a little too buff. And plus, we got the return of a certain Batman artifact, or I'll say a Batman vehicle that I am not a really big fan of, and I'm not going to ruin that. But this is the conclusion to the Emperor Penguin story. Thank fucking God. We are finally done with this Emperor Penguin bullshit. I'm not gonna sugarcoat this at all. DC, y'all were full of shit for doing this. The Emperor Penguin. To think that I'm really thinking that you were actually going to try and convince us that this guy could be more powerful than Oswald Cobblepot. Bull fucking shit. But we figure out why he looks like this on the cover, on the inside, and unfortunately, I'll go ahead and spoil this. What he does to himself, it's permanent. So after this ordeal, he's permanently like this. And the fight between him and Batman is pretty damn intense. And Batman needs assistance in here. And of all people to come and help Batman, not going to ruin it. Not going to ruin it. But the first story ends with a kind of ending. You know, the same person that saved Batman from Emperor Penguin, the same person that saved Batman, does a noble deed for Bruce Wayne at the end of the first story. Now, even though I'm not going to spoil it, you probably, it probably wouldn't take you 2 seconds to figure out who it is. But for those of you who probably haven't read this book yet, they're probably, I don't want to ruin everything. The second story, this is another 2-story split book. That's why it's $4. The second story is Emperor Penguin in Blackgate. And the boss, as the excuse me again, he goes to meet the boss, as the prison guards call him. He's like, the warden? He's like, no, it's not the warden. You got a lot to learn around here, don't you? And it's somebody that I think it's somebody that Emperor Penguin knows. I've never seen this guy before. At first I thought it was Man-Bat, but no, it's not Man-Bat. But he's like talking about his ordeals, and we find out that this douchebag here had a very similar upbringing, a similar tragedy to Bruce Wayne himself. This guy also lost his parents outside of a theater from some punk with a gun, which is completely unoriginal and totally forced. But then we find out that he's been an underling and a go-to guy or a servant or an assistant, basically a minion his entire life. And he finally rose to power, and he loved it. He loved being on top. So what he does is he turns on the boss and kills him. And he gives himself a new name. Now I'm going to go ahead and spoil this. His new name, thank God, is Emperor Blackgate. I can be fine with that. No more Emperor Penguin bullshit. I'm glad the Emperor Penguin story is finally over. Thank you, DC, for killing this, for not killing him off, but for finishing up this story so we can get on to a new one. But a very good read nonetheless. Detective Comics number 20. And I'm sure that's not the first number 20 out of the New 52. That's the first issue number 20 out of the New 52 that I bought. There you go. Now, next up, I hate to break this to y'all, but he's back. You're up. No one can stay down forever. Yep. Figured it was about time I came back from my time off and graced you with my glorious presence again. Y'all know why I'm here. I'm here to do what I like doing, and that's talking about my planet. I represent Earth 2. We're going to be talking about Earth 2, number 12. James Robinson. I give you a bro fist, man. You're still doing a great job. Great fucking job. Nicola Scott. Love you, baby. Love your artwork. Your artwork in here is fantastic. A War with Wotan. Funny, I always thought it was pronounced Wotan. Whatever. This is the moment us Dr. Fate marks have been waiting for. Finally, Dr. Fate gets off his lazy ass and starts fighting again. I gotta tell you, this was some really good stuff. We get interactions from every character in this series. We get Green Lantern, we get the Flash, we get Dr. Fate, we get Hawkgirl, we get everybody. It's all there, it's all good. Love this shit. If you ain't on board with Earth 2 right now, I ought to smack you. No, I ain't gonna go there. I'm not gonna go back there. I nearly got fired for being like that. I'll be a good boy. But let me talk about what goes down here. So, Khaled gets the helmet. He puts it on. He's Dr. Fate. We get that. The Flash finds out that he could subconsciously create a brand new costume on himself. thank you. That's really necessary. It's like, oh, I gotta go help my mom. I gotta go help her. But wait, first, I gotta make me a new suit because I don't want her to see me like this when I go save her. Whatever. But the fight is really good. You know, Dr. Fate, we find out, you know, during the fight, it's a split personality gag. You know, Khaled's like, no, I'm going to beat him. I'm going to beat him. And the helmet's talking to him saying, look, just do what I tell you. You should be fine. And he's just like, no, I got to do this for myself. I can do this. I'm not going to go crazy. And the helmet just keeps talking to him. It's like, no, just do what I say and you got this. You know, basically. And Green Lantern's still doing some investigating as to what could have led to his boyfriend's murder. Him and Hawk Girl, let's just say they find something. Whew, and it stinks. Literally, it stinks. And why it stinks, I ain't gonna ruin that. I ain't gonna ruin what they find. But then we find some more stuff out about it, and then Green Lantern gets called away, and like a complete douche, he leaves Hawk Girl behind. We don't know what happened to her. That was after he leaves, we don't have a damn clue as to what's going on with Hawk Girl. So Green Lantern and the Flash reunite, and they decide that they need to back up Dr. Fate. Let the Doc take care of Wotan while they deal with other threats that's going on in the city. So they do that. The harmony is working really well. They're doing such a magnificent job. Jay Garrick has really grown some nuts here. I really like where DC is going with this. It's, you know, we're finally getting rough and tough here. Every character is getting along, supposedly. And at the end, we find out that this team of heroes, or wonders as they call it, are going to have a place to stay until this whole thing dies down a bit. And now they're thinking they got to go back and go get Hawk Girl, but then something else comes up, and it's like, oh shit, now what? And that's how the book ends. This was a fun read, great action, great artwork. The writing was superb. I really fucking loved this. This was a proud representation for Earth 2. Couldn't get enough of it. Like I said, get yourselves on board with this book before I smack you. No. Good boy. Be a good boy. Be a good boy, Earth 2. Be a good boy. I won't smack you. I won't hurt you. If you don't get on board with this series, I'll just say this. Come on and get on board with this. You know you want to try it. But there you go. Earth 2 number 12. Fantastic read. Not going to ruin everything about it. All I'm going to say is get it and enjoy it. Well, I'm back, baby. Deal with it. Ciao. Enlightening character, isn't he? You all probably caught the gist of what he was saying about this book. Basically, that's how I feel. This was a fun read. Really enjoyed it. It was good to see Dr. Fate in action. It was good to see all the characters of this Justice Society that is being built up. They're not called the Justice Society yet, but it's nice to see them being built up toward that point. And I really enjoyed this issue too. So there you go. Earth 2 number 12. Alright, we're going to end DC off with World's Finest number 12. Time for a power play. Okay, this series is picking up. This issue I actually liked, but it was above average, but not excellent. I will put it in the rank of pretty good, just not great. Paul Levitz, God, look, everybody who did the artwork in here, y'all did a great job. I thought the artwork in here was good for the most part, but the writing needs some sprucing up. No disrespect to Paul Levitz, because it is good. It is good, but I mean, this is Power Girl and Huntress. I just feel like the writing could be better. I really personally do. And no disrespect to any of the artists on here, but it's Power Girl, for God's sakes. Who could draw Power Girl better than Amanda Conner? Jesus Christ, DC, I am begging you, put Amanda Conner on this book. I mean, she is good at drawing Power Girl. She's superb at drawing those awesome facial expressions on characters. Amanda Conner's artwork can really sell a character's emotion without dialogue. I'm begging you, DC, put Amanda Conner on the artwork on here, please, and you will have a guaranteed sell for me. And we need some better writing. I mean, the writing in here was decent, but I just feel like it could have been better. Karen, Power Girl, is under a lot of pressure right now. She's losing stock in her company. Her company is dying because of the fight with Desaad, because unfortunately only Karen and Helena were only able to see Desaad. Everybody else was seeing Michael Holt, aka Mr. Terrific. So they're labeled right now as, I wouldn't say traitors, but they're labeled as, wanted fugitives, and Karen is losing money, and we're finally seeing her really depressed in here, and and she even admits that being famous feels good. Compared to how she grew up on Earth 2, I can understand that. And there's also a big revelation in here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and spoil this, but there's a really big revelation in here thanks to Desaad, because Desaad is just blowing shit up. He's just causing havoc all over the place, and he comes across one of Karen's employees, one of her female employees, and I forgot her name, but it's one of Power Girl's, Karen Starr's. It's one of her female employees. I honestly can't remember her name, but Desaad somehow finds out that this employee is in love with Karen. And he even bluntly says, he's like, you love her, don't you? You love her. I could use that. Grabs her by the neck and cracks it. And I'm like, okay, how are you going to use that? How are you going to use a female crush? How are you going to use somebody who's got a crush on her as a possible hostage? I mean, if you just killed her. I didn't get it. I was thinking he was going to do the stereotyped cliche of getting a hostage and using her love to exploit or get an unfair advantage over Power Girl. Now he just killed her. I don't know. Maybe he absorbed memories or something. I don't know. I don't know why he killed her for. But then again, when I got to the very end of the book, maybe there was a reason to shatter Power Girl's confidence. Maybe Karen knew about the crush. Maybe she didn't. Maybe she thought they were, just simply friends or whatever. But it was like she's losing popularity, she's losing money, and now she's losing friends. She's not having a good day. She's getting totally stressed out, depressed, pissed off, all kinds of shit. The drama in this issue was superb, but I still think the writing could have been done a little bit better in some parts, but for the most part, I really did enjoy this issue. It was good, just not perfect. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't ruin everything that happened. I didn't spoil everything that happened in here. But I still think that this series deserves a chance to flourish, to expand. I really think that this series could go somewhere if we can get some better writing. And please get Amanda Conner on the artwork. I'm really stretching it, but I really did like this issue. World's Finest number 12. I've harped on that enough. Let's go on to Marvel. We're going to start with Marvel at Age of Ultron, Book 7. Brian Michael Bendis, and we got Peterson on the artwork. No, we don't have Peterson on the artwork. Hang on. Let me get this right. Okay, yeah. Bendis is the writer. We got Brandon Peterson on the artwork from the present time, and for the art and for the artwork for the past, we got Carlos Paccio. Okay, want to credit the right people, but okay, let me put this back in here. There we go. Yeah, one look at that cover should be enough to tell you that something's gone wrong. Okay, in the last issue, in issue 6, Logan and Sue Richards, Wolverine and the Invisible Woman, they went back to the past to try and... Sue wanted to try and convince Hank Pym to not invent Ultron. But Wolverine was in the mood. He wasn't in the mood to take any bullshit chances, so he just killed him. He cut his throat. So Hank Pym is dead. Hank Pym died before he could make Ultron, so now Ultron does not exist. But, and my girlfriend's dad said when he read the line, whatever world we go back to, it couldn't be any worse than the world we left. He told me as soon as Wolverine said that, he knew he fucked up. And when they go back into the present time, they're starting to see things that, things happen differently. But the more and more further we go into the story, it's pretty obvious. Wolverine and Sue, they fucked up real bad. And there are some big changes on here. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and tell you some of the changes that happened. This is not the Avengers. This is the Defenders. Notice that Colonel America and this alternate reality's Wolverine have D's as belt buckles. Wolverine does not have an X, and Captain America does not Colonel America, does not have an A or a standard belt buckle. They have D's. Janet Van Dyne, aka Wasp, is Captain Marvel. Cable is Scott Summers. This is Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy, and the Thing and Hulk are alive again. Thing is all battered up, and Hulk's got some scars, and Doctor Strange doesn't look that different. And Wolverine's back in his classic brown and tan costume, which is my favorite Wolverine costume. But, a lot of things have changed. And there was a particular panel near the beginning of the book where I saw certain foot soldiers, and I saw how they were dressed. I didn't even have to read the dialogue, and I knew what the ending was going to be. I knew what the cliffhanger was going to be before I even got to it. But there's a misunderstanding. There are 2 Wolverines now in the present time. The Wolverine from the Ultron days and the Wolverine that's there now. And this team of Defenders thinks that Wolverine and Sue Richards are Skrulls. They find out they're not. They figure out something may have gone up. Something's going on that they don't know everything about. Blah, 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 blah. And then we get to the cliffhanger. Totally saw it coming. I'll go ahead and admit that. Like I said, I called it. Even though I knew what it was going to be, I didn't exactly know how it was going to look. All I'm going to say is, damn. Logan, Sue, y'all fucked up. Get this book and read it. Holy shit. Moving on. All New X-Men, number 11. Bendis, Imanen. Good job. This was great. Which one of the all-new X-Men will join Cyclops' mutant revolution? Now, issue 10's cliffhanger was that somebody at the Jean Grey School volunteered to step up and join Scott Summers' mutant revolution at the new Xavier School. And they did a brilliant job by not showing who it was. Now, if you've been reading Uncanny X-Men, you already know who it is. So I'll go ahead and spoil it since it's already known. It's the original Angel, Warren Worthington. He never wanted to be in the future, so he joins up with Scott and with Magneto and the Uncanny X-Men. Find out his frustrations and everything. But the main selling point of this book is Jean. Kitty Pryde talks to Jean and teaches her a lesson about her powers. Jean is, even at a young age, I think she's still like, 13, maybe 14. I'm thinking right around that age in this time period. She has become very, very dangerous. And Kitty's trying to tell her, look, Jean, you can't keep acting like this every time you don't get your way. You know, basically what we've been seeing all these past few issues with Jean's erratic behavior is basically, to sum it all up, she's throwing temper tantrums. And she even fucked up Angel's mind. The original Angel, Warren Worthington. She fucked up his mind because he wasn't acting the way she wanted him to act, basically. I'm hoping this book is not going to try and villainize Jean right off the bat because Jean's not getting her way. She's a rookie at this point in time. She's still learning. And that really keeps you focused on her. To know that she's a rookie. She needs to learn. But she's the only one out of the team who's, getting these lessons because I believe out of the original 5, she is indeed the most powerful and she can be the most dangerous. I mean, you don't want to get on anybody's bad side when they can get in here and really fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? But I think Jean will eventually learn to not act so dangerously when things don't go the way you want them to go. It's life. Whether it's superhero life or whether it's real life. Shit happens sometimes. There are times where things happen the way I don't want them to happen, and of course it's going to piss me off, but there are times, and my girlfriend has told me this, she has sat me down and talked to me about this, sometimes shit happens, you got to deal with it. And that's what I think the whole overall plot of this particular issue was. There was some great stuff in here with Mystique, fantastic stuff, and it leads to one of those go shit kind of cliffhangers. I can't get enough of this series. This has been one of the best series out of Marvel now. Can't get enough of it. I'm loving it. Thank you, Bendis. Your consistency with the X-Men has been fantastic. Love it. Don't slip up. Keep doing what you're doing, and I'll be just fine. Alright. For these last 2 books, I was really torn. Which one should be my pick of the week? Which one? Oh. I'm only giving the pick of the week to one of them. So let's start with the one that didn't make it. That just missed it. Oh. No. Pick of the week. We're doing the pick of the week. The Superior Spider-Man, number 9. Dan Slott, Ryan Stegman. Oh my God. what I read in here, I didn't think was going to happen. And it kind of makes me wonder. I'm not going to ruin anything. I'm just going to describe how I feel about this book. This got my attention so much because this right here is another perfect example of, you know what, sometimes the good guys don't always win. Then again, you know, it's just one of those times, just one of those things where you think to yourself, Jesus, where can Dan Slott go from here? What more can Dan do to really screw with our emotions and keep us on board after this? Wow. Now, judging by what I'm saying, you probably figured out what happens in here, but I dare not spoil how. I dare not spoil what goes on in here. I dare not spoil what happens. I'm just describing how I feel. This right here hit me right in the heart because this is my favorite character. My favorite hero has always been Spider-Man. You know, even though he's not as responsible as he claims to be, he's always been chucking out that line. If you got something great, you know, great power comes great responsibility. You know, just because, you know, a lot of people misunderstand that line, I think, sometimes. It's not about being powerful. It's about living life the way you should, not the way you want. Everybody in life has responsibilities. Don't take your life for granted. You know, that's what I got from it. You know, just because you can live a life of luxury and live a life of decadence doesn't mean that you should. Keep your priorities in focus. Do what you need to do rather than what you want to do most of the time, and you can honestly live a good life. That's always the message I got from Spider-Man. And in here, it's really put to a test. The drama, the action, the dialogue, the twists, the swerves, the plot, the ending, everything. Just a big steaming pile of what the fuck. And I honestly don't know what else to say other than that. Dan, if you're watching this, you've earned more respect from me because you have managed to take my favorite hero, twist him around, beat him up, kill him off, have a complete asshole inhabit his body, treat him, you know, you've had this guy taint Spider-Man's legacy, where he is getting praise for it in these stories, and you give us something like this. It hit me right in the heart, but I'm still on board because I can't get enough of this. This is something different. This is very, very bold. Very bold, very brave. It takes a real spine for a writer to give us stories like this and keep us there. You know, it's one thing for a writer to do something that could piss us off to the point where we just don't care and we'll drop the series. It's one thing to do that, but it's a whole other thing entirely for a writer to give us a story that will piss us off from time to time, but keep us on board. I'm not dropping this series. I'm sticking with it because I am even more interested on where this can go from here. Pure and simple. Superior Spider-Man number 9. Get this issue and read it. We're going to end this review with X Factor 255. Now, my dear friend Samantha, the finger fucking female fury at Tumblr, warned me about this book. She told me it was sad. And I was like, I can deal with sad stories. I always have. Oh my god. This is part 6 of the Hell on Earth War. Peter David. Oh my god. First off, I want to say, Peter David, your decision to... you and Marvel have decided to stop doing X Factor once you're done. I respect that. And I think I would rather have that than have somebody else come on this series and try to write the series as good as you did. This was your baby, Mr. David. This was your baby. And you have done such a magnificent job for this series over the years. I honestly don't believe anybody else can write X Factor than you. So, your decision to cancel X Factor once you are done with it, I completely respect that, and I understand that. And I'm telling the truth that I would rather have it that way than to have somebody else come along and try to write it the way you did. I respect that. Now, as far as this goes, wow. Samantha, my friend, you were not lying to me. This was sad. This was really sad. The war has taken another twist. Mephisto technically found a way to win without killing Reigns' son, Tyr. He found a way to win. I'm not going to ruin how he did. But Mephisto's daughter is with X Factor, and she's like, you all might as well give up. He's won. What can you do now? And, shit's just hit the fan for the team. Madrix is still a possessed demon, and it just breaks Layla's heart, 'cause, it's her husband. But the real heartbreaking moment for me Mr. David, why? We have a casualty in this book. And it was one of my personal favorite characters in this series. I'll be damned. The one person I never wanted to see die in this series dies. That really sucks. That was sad. X Factor 255. Just pick it up and read it. Well, I want to thank y'all for joining me here on blugoblinX. Don't forget about my main channel, Blugoblin01. Hoping to do some more special reviews here later. I want to do my reviews of books I got from Free Comic Book Day and books from Midtown Comics. And one of those books will be The Movement by Gail Simone. I'll go ahead and spoil that because you didn't see The Movement here. It's going to be on my Midtown review, so stick around for that. Don't know when I'm going to do it yet, but stick around for it. I want to thank y'all for watching. Don't forget about here, BlugoblinX, Blugoblin01. Don't forget about my student, TheMtVernonKid. Follow me on Twitter or on Tumblr. Thanks again, everybody, and until next time, I'll see y'all later.